Hello, my name is Middleearth, and today we're also going to talk about the other stuff revealed so far at Warhammer Fest, or at least the stuff that we like the look of the most, and by we, I mean me, because I'm the one recording it. And we're starting with this, because this is the cutest scenery I have ever seen. Not too bothered about the Middleearth strategy game, don't really give a shit. Some of the models are fine, some of it not great. Just not something I've got a vast amount of interest in, but that little hobbit hole is absolutely quality. I love it. There's no reason to buy it at all. There is no purpose to me owning this in any way. I could not use it for anything. Like, what are you going to do? You can't put it in 40k. That would be really weird, just having a little hobbit hole in there. But I really like this. It looks great. It looks really cool. It looks so good. So, despite the fact that there's no reason to own that, and I probably won't end up... Well, no, I probably will. Despite the fact I don't need that, it's worth highlighting, because look at it. It's fucking legit. It's good. It's so good. Okay, actual stuff that is interesting and important. There is going to be a new General's Handbook in 2019, which, if you are a Age of Sigmar person, as I know some of you are, that is, of course, good news for you. There's also, interestingly, something for Necromancer. Let me just see if I can find it here. Here we go. He's there he is. There's the lad. Now, this is the Headsman, and this is interesting because this model isn't necessarily new. This is like a reworked sculpt. This dude was shown off before. You might remember him as having like a big pointy hat that frankly looked a little bit KKK, and I'm assuming that is why that model just never seemed to go anywhere. There were pictures of it, I'm sure there was a preview of it, in fact, or at least there were pictures of it floating around. I remember seeing them on Twitter a fair bit, and there being a bit of discussion about, okay, that's an awesome model, but that's a weird connotation. The noose and the hood, perhaps not the greatest look, if we're totally honest, and I was curious as to what they were going to do with it, but it is back now. The Headsman is back, and to be honest, it looks like all that's changed, if I remember correctly, is the removal of the hood. You've still got all the candles, like I really like the build-up of candles and stuff on the other model. You've got this big build-up of candles, you've got the Executioner's axe, the noose is still there, the kind of more ornamental look of the corridor as a whole, still present, but it just lacks the big pointy hat with the eye holes, which, to be honest, even if it was not, obviously, even if it wasn't intended that way. Of course it wasn't. I'm sure whoever sculpted it didn't even give it a second thought. They just went, okay, well, that is an executioner's headdress. That is a thing that exists. That is just what it is. But there is a combination of that and a noose and certain imagery that perhaps not entirely 100% appropriate. This is a good compromise. It still looks good. It still looks very effective. I don't think anything has been lost through the redesign. It's still pretty scary. It's still every inch like a deranged religious nutter executioner, which is exactly what it should be. But now it's impossible to misconstrue that as being anything other than what it is, which is, I'm sure, why that redesign happened in the first place. But yeah, I do like that model. It looks decent. It looks fun to paint as well, and I'm sure you could do some fun conversion work on that, actually, especially all those candles. It's a nice, cool silhouette that model has. So yeah, the Headsman is going to be around soon. I like it. It looks good. There's also some upgrade stuff for the Delac gangs. And the thing that I'm most excited about out of all of this, if we go back up to Warcry, is this lot. So, the Splintered Fang. So, we've seen the Iron Golems and the Untamed Beast. We've already had models for those. This is the Splintered Fang. Then they've got an actual elf in there, which I quite like. Interesting choice of legwear, but I was going to say I'm into it. Maybe not in that way. I'm liking the way these Warcry warbands are shaping up. They are all most definitely chaos. They all have an overriding unifying theme, but they do all look pretty different to each other. There are of course some similarities. It's impossible for them not to be if they're using similar iconography and if they are all followers of chaos, but there are nice differences, nice subtle differences between the different warbands that we've seen so far that I'm really liking. I do like this model. It's got a good action pose. It looks very Harlequin in a way, which I do quite like. There's also this chap. Now, this was a silhouette that was shown off way early in the day, like a teaser, and there was a lot of speculation as to what this could actually be, and I wasn't expecting this. I didn't know what I was expecting, if I'm honest, because it was very difficult to tell. But I mean, it's a dude with 2 giant snakes. That's pretty much all that's going on. I do like the sculpt. It does look good. The snakes are ridiculous. Snakes with scorpion tails. Sure, why not? Go for it. The only thing I'm not sure about is the foot. There is like a weird kind of lumpy foot thing going on there. But that's it. I like everything else about this model. It's obviously incredibly weird and a bit silly, but when is that something to complain about when it comes to anything Warhammer or just Games Workshop based as a whole? There's weirdness all over the shop. So I also like the detail of the bite marks in the leg, and I'm assuming a scorpion tail, like a stinger mark on the chest as well. Both cool little details. And the snake mask under the hood. Yeah, there's a lot of nice little touches to this model. And there's also a couple of extra lads. These guys give me quite a Ideneth Deepkin feel in a way, especially the guy with the net. That's very that to me feels very Ideneth Deepkin. I don't know whether it's the trident. There's just something about it. But then they've also got the big crests, which in a way is quite Fire Slayers. There's lots of nice little influences from, I think, other ranges that are making these warbands nice and unique. But yeah, they look pretty good. I'm definitely excited for Warcry, and there's some nice models coming out of it that, to be honest, they look like ones that I don't even want to mess with that much. Which, I want to mess with all models, but these not quite as much as some others. I just kind of want to paint them because they look fun to paint, which is something that is, I think, difficult to achieve. Even if you don't like the system or don't want the system, actually just seeing something and going, yeah, I want to paint that just to paint it. I'm getting that vibe from these, which is, it's nice. It's nice when that happens. So yeah, that's the other stuff from the Warhammer Fest that I've kind of picked up on and thought was worth highlighting. I'd be interested to know what you think about, especially the Headsman. I think that's an interesting topic without getting too overexcited in the conversation, obviously. But yeah, let me know what you think of all these different things in the comments down below. You might be interested, you might not be, but you might be interested to come over to the stream. I'm currently streaming Rocksmith, just having a chill Saturday night, playing some music and drinking a bit. So grab a beer and head over there if you would like to. And if you don't want to, you can stay right here and watch something else. Totally up to you. The choice is yours. In the meantime, no matter what you do, click all the things, Patreon, video, subscribe, click them if you like, don't click them if you don't want to, and I will see you for the next one. Toodaloo.